Hey there, this is Daryl Olson from the Jackson Fishing Team, and today we're going to be tying, I believe it's our fourth fly for the AI fishing trip, Artificial Intelligence Fishing Trip to the Chattahoochee River in Atlanta. We're going to use the flies that AI recommended, but we're going to tie those flies. So we'll just see how that works. So hopefully it'll be a good video to show. The next fly we're going to tie is again a Sculpin pattern, but this time it's a black Matuka Sculpin. You know, it's going to be tying the Matuka style, and it'll also use deer hair, and except instead of a buddy strip, it's going to use four saddle hackle feathers and tied Matuka style. So we'll see how well I can do that, show you on here. I finally got one that looked pretty good, and we'll show you what that fly looks like. This is the black Matuka Sculpin. You could tie this in olive or brown or whatever color you want. I'm tying mine in brown. And it's got little pictorial fins in there, which maybe you don't have to really put in, but I did. Anyway, let's get tying this monster, and on there anyway. All right. The hook I'm going to use is a streamer hook 1750 by Daiichi in a size 6. It happens to be a 4x long, 1x strong. And we'll go ahead and we'll debarb this as it's for me. It's up to you if you want to debarb your hooks. I have a tendency to hook myself, so it comes in handy. On there. The next material we're going to do is we're going to put in some weight, and I'm using 0.015 lead free, and I'm going to put in 25 wraps. You can put in what you want. And we'll wiggle off the excess, and we'll squish it up. And if you wanted, you could put more on there, but I'm just going with 25 wraps. The thread I'm going to use is some 6/0 in olive, and I'm going to just start this right in front of the and we'll trim off this here, this tag end. And we're gonna secure that lead weight in. And we'll do that a little bit better. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to tie in some medium copper. try to keep it on the side. In there. Next I'm going to use is some SLF Dubbing blend, SLF, in this Minnow belly. It's kind of a white cream color, got a little copper splash in it, and we're going to use this to create our body. You can remember on the first Sculpin fly we kind of put in a cream colored body using some yarn, and you know, you could probably do that on this fly, but I'm kind of like showing people different methods or different type way of using their materials. You know, if you're not a big dubbing fan person, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to stay with something you like. And with that lead wire, it'll show that we probably will have like a tapered cigar shaped body, which is kind of cool. I think I need a little bit more. Okay. Next I'm going to use is some natural black saddle, and it kind of got a little iridescence to it compared to a dyed one. I don't know if you can see that shininess in there, but that kind of looks kind of cool. You could use black, but I'm going to use this natural black, and we're going to want to pick out four feathers. And we're going to go ahead and measure the first one here. You know, I want that tail probably be out the hook shank on there, and then we're just going to get rid of this stuff back this way. On there. I'll lay those down over here. And I'm going to try to use that one as a template down here. And strip this stuff off. on there. Next I'm going to lay two of them that are the concave side. Make sure my tips are lined up. And then the next two I'm going to do is I'm going to put them so that they're concaved into them. On there. And then I'm going to measure my length again, and from this point I'm going to just strip off the bottom. And you can see where that curvature kind of goes right with that tail. And here I'm going to lift these up and tie these in right here. And then I'm going to turn this to make sure that I'm kind of like right on top, right at 12 o'clock. And we'll trim off this excess right here. And then I'm going to lay this down, and again I'm going to try to pull these fibers up. And making sure that they're still up on top. And I like to give it at least one full turn back here before I continue wrapping up. And then I'm going to kind of weave my thing, my wire, going forward to help lock that in. Now, I suppose if you didn't want to use wire, you could use thread. And that would be our Matuka style feather wing, or whatever you want to call this. Now, my understanding, the Matuka actually is a bird feather, like a bittern, something that we really can't use here in the States. So we have to settle for on there. We'll helicopter this off. Next we're going to do is we're going to put in a throat, and I'm going to use the same dubbing from Whitlock's dubbing thing here, except I'm going to use this red in there. create a throat. And so I'm just going to tie in a little bit right here and fold this over. And next we're going to do is we're going to create our pectoral fin in there. And I'm going to use some dyed hand feathers. And this, I would say this is optional if you didn't want to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it where the concave is coming away from the fly with that pectoral, so it kind of is fluttering out there. And I don't know if you can see how it's curving away, but I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. You know, maybe 3/4 the length of that body. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll just strip some of these fibers away. And flip it over and do the similar type thing here. And kind of pull that so that it's the same, looks like it's the same length. And then we can go ahead and trim that off. And I don't know if you can see that. They look pretty close. Maybe looking on the camera here, it looks like one's a little longer, but I think it'll still be fishable. Next is now for the collar and the head. I'm using some black deer body hair. And this chunk seems to be pretty good. You know, I can try to clean it out. And there isn't too much in there. And I'll put it in my hair stacker. And then we'll again take it off where I got those tips going in the direction that I want the tips to go. And I probably want it to go back about the length of the body, and I'm going to try to even up these ends here. Kind of pinch it And I don't want it to wrap around. And I'm going to try to push them back a little bit because I'm going to pack a little hair on here. Again, here's a great fly that gives me some practice on deer hair heads. I'm going to take another bunch and just take it as big as you want. Clean it out. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this end. And I'm going to trim the tips off. And I could use a little bit more. And again, even these ends up a little bit. And we'll cut the tips off. They're not important. And we'll build some thread there. And I don't know if I showed this in the last one, but we're gonna just do a few half hitches. Kind of use that to push the thread, those hairs. And you notice also I'm using a straight-eyed hook on this one. On there. Now we're going to cut this with a razor blade to start with. And we want to make sure we don't cut our pectoral fins or any of the throat. And we'll trim up here. Alright, get my little scissors here. And do some trimming with those. Being careful.
I think that's good. All right, there we have it. Little pictorial fins right there on there, and that's my little black Matuka fly.
All right, it's a little Matuka fly that I'll try in Atlanta. In there. And we'll be tying one more streamer. And again, that'll be a Sculpin, but it'll be a Matuka style with a hackle head instead of deer hair. Anyway, I'm Daryl. Hopefully you'll give these things a try and try them out there on the trout, smallmouth, whatever you fish for. All right, I'm Daryl, and we'll see you on the water.